Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, if you are considering retiring at your MRA with 30 years, before you do, make sure you understand the difference between retiring at 60 versus 62. And even if you don't quite have 30 years at your MRA, it's okay. This conversation will help you a ton understand the major differences between retiring at about 57, which for most people is their MRA, or age 60 versus 62, so that you understand the differences and benefits that you'll get at these different ages, okay? So let's dive in. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Dallin Hosm, a financial planner who serves federal employees every day, and I absolutely love it. So let's dive in. Obviously, right off the bat, one of the big differences between these three ages, whether you're MRA 60 or 62, excuse me, is you gotta work longer, of course, to make it a 60 or 62. Now, whenever you work longer, your pension will always get bigger. Your pension is based on years of service, so obviously you'll have more money in retirement. Your TSP will get bigger because, again, you're working longer, you're saving more. So your pension TSP, every year you work longer, you're going to get more, obviously. And your Social Security, as a general rule, is going to get bigger as well. Probably not a huge amount, but certainly your Social Security will go up as well for every year. Now, for every additional year, you can do the math on this, but your pension, it doesn't tend to go up very much every year, just for a single year. Now, the one exception to that is 62. When you hit 62, if you have at least 20 years of service and you hit age 62, your pension gets a 10% bonus, okay? Basically, how they calculate your pension changes so that your pension is calculated 10% higher. So that is a big bump, okay, at 62. But other than that, like let's say if you're deciding between 60 and 61, the difference in your pension is not that big. You could run the math for you. I've got other videos on how to calculate your pension. But generally speaking, an additional year never adds a huge amount to your pension. But getting till 62, boom, that's a big bump all at once. So that's one thing to consider there. Now let's talk about the FERS supplement. Now, if you're not familiar with the FERS supplement, here's what to keep in mind. So the supplement is designed to pay out between retirement and age 62. It'll stop at 62 no matter what. And if you retire after 62, you can't get the FERS supplement. And if you've never really heard about the FERS supplement, it's simply more money. It's an additional payment on top of your pension. So on top of your pension, it's additional to help bridge the gap between retirement and age 62. Now, not everyone's eligible for this. I've got videos on the FERS supplement if you want to go check out the details. But long story short, if you retire your MRA with 30 years, you'll get the FERS supplement for about 5 years, okay? Which is very nice. If you retire at 60, okay, and you have at least 20 years, you'll get the supplement for 2 years, again, until 62. So getting the supplement is a nice bonus. And again, if you retire after 62, though, you will no longer get the supplement. So you can either get the 10% bonus by working 62 and beyond, or you can retire before 62 and you can get the FERS supplement for some years. You cannot do both, though. They're mutually exclusive, just by how the rules are written, okay? So honestly, again, when comparing these different ages, 60, 62, now let me actually back up. I don't think, I didn't explain this at the beginning, but I do want to clarify. These different ages have different years of service requirements to be able to retire with a full retirement. So at your MRA, you do have to have 30 years of service to have a full retirement. At 60, you need 20 years. At 62, you only need 5. So if you don't have the 30 years that you need at your MRA to retire, then working longer means you'll get closer to being eligible. And again, at 62, you only need 5 years to be eligible for a full-blown retirement, okay? So this is my summary between these different ages. First, the longer you work, the fewer years of service you need for a full-blown retirement, right? 30 years here, 20 years at 60, and then 5 years at 62. So that's great. And at every additional year you work, of course, your pension's a little bit bigger, TSP's a little bigger, Social Security's a little bigger. But there's no huge bump to your pension until 62. If you have at least 20 years, that's a big bump. You get a 10% bump then. So really, you just got to find the balance for you. There's no perfect age for retirement. You just got to find the balance where your income sources get big enough so you're comfortable. You say, hey, I see people retire all the time, by the way, at 57. And they're in great spots. Some people, though, try to do that, and they just don't have the resources yet, right? either they haven't saved as well in the TSP, or their goals for retirement are bigger, whatever it may be. You gotta find that sweet spot where your income in retirement is now big enough, your TSP and everything is big enough to support whatever lifestyle you want in retirement. You gotta find that balance. And for everyone, it kind of hits at different ages based on what you want in retirement, what you're used to, and how well you saved, and everything else in between. But those are some of the key differences when retiring at the different ages. I hope that is helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.